Cowboys Nation. How the hell y'all feeling right now?
Yo, this is Neville Gallimore from the Dallas Cowboys, and I want to give a major shout out to Mike Tag. Keep bringing the hype to the Cowboys Nation.
Cowboys Nation, hope everyone is doing well. Hope everything doing good. It is game day. We gonna be hype. We're just waiting on Kelly. What? There he is. You know, just like that. The man is here. Kelly, what's up, man? We're just getting this thing started. You're right on time. Kelly was good. We just had a little technical difficulties. So we had to switch things up a little bit. But it is game time. So if it's game time, that means we got to have the Sunday morning crew. Of course, Greg and I are always punctual. Kelly, on the other hand, he's kind of hit or miss. But he's here now. We changed the time a little bit. So Kelly was able to grace us with the presence because we got a lot of stuff to go through. So first of all, Kelly, how you doing?
Nope, Kelly froze.
Kelly's not doing good. Greg, how are you doing?
There he is.
I'm back. I watched that Miami Kansas City game and I'm still a little chilly from it. So I was frozen like the players was on the field.
That's the way it goes. So, well, you know, we got everyone in the chat, man. Appreciate it. I see Steven and Sugar Daddy. I see Chris. I see Dan. I can't see that well, but I think it's Michael. Cuts by Jones, who I know's got some good cuts, man. I know he's got things going. So we got a lot of things going on. So it is what we've been waiting for, game day. But before we get to it, what did you guys, and we'll start with you, Greg, what did you think of the games yesterday?
It was pretty good. Cleveland kind of disappointed me because I thought Cleveland would play a better game than they did last night. And because I like a good comeback story, and I saw how Flacco was doing during the season. I said, man, this would be a good comeback story for Flacco if he can get the Cleveland Browns past the Texans. But those 2 pick sixes he threw, that just sealed the deal for them. And unfortunately, I think because of that, he may or may not get an opportunity to come back and get off the couch next year. Now, the Kansas City game was great in that cold weather, and then the helmet breaking because of the weather was so cold, and Andy Reid's icicles on his mustache. Man, that was a good game to watch.
Kelly, what'd you think?
So like I was telling you guys before the show, man, Houston was kind of my upset pick, man. I thought Houston was going to take it. I was surprised to see them take it in the fashion that they did, but you know, CJ Stroud continues to have one of the most impressive rookie seasons that I've ever witnessed. Like I remember Dak Prescott had a great rookie season. He was 13-3, and I remember the stats that he put up. But I mean, CJ Stroud has kind of taken that to another level in terms of, I mean, he seemed like he's a more polished passer than Dak was early in Dak's rookie season, and just the way that he has played, the poise under pressure, hosting a home playoff game. I mean, that's a lot of pressure. I've just been really impressed by him. I mean, time will tell where this kid's trajectory is, because, you know, next year there's gonna be a lot of tape on him, defensive coordinators, this and that. But I just appreciate what I've seen from the young kid. And I'm not a Houston Texans fan by any means. In fact, I don't even like the Texans, but I do like CJ Stroud, and I think he's a hell of a rookie quarterback. I thought what he did yesterday, 3 touchdowns, no picks, was just pretty impressive for the young man. So, and then the Kansas City game, it was a good game for a little bit, but it just never seemed like Kansas City had it the whole way. The second half, I just kind of lost a little bit of interest in it because I had the feeling it was over in the third quarter, and I switched it off because I'm like, yeah, this game is over, because Miami just did not look like they were on the same page. They were out of sync. Kansas City, while they kind of struggled a little bit offensively and in the red zone sometimes and had to settle for field goals, just felt like they were in control of that game the whole time. So, I mean, it was an all right game. I mean, I did like watching the cold and you know, Andy Reid over there looking like the Lorax and shit. You know, I mean, outside of that, man, you know, it just made me sit there and it made me think how much I wanted it to be Sunday.
Yeah, so, no, I'm telling you, I love this weekend of football. It's always one of my favorites because you do get some surprises. And before I forget, make sure you guys hit that like, subscribe, share. We got a lot of new people in, I could tell. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, hit the alert, hit the subscribe real quick, just to kind of do a little reminder. We do have some big things coming up. We got just announced James Washington is confirmed to be coming in the cave. We're talking about two-time Super Bowl champion of the 90s Cowboys. Arguably, and I'm an Emmitt Smith guy, you could probably make a case for him that he should have been Super Bowl MVP in Super Bowl 28 with everything that he did on the defensive side with the fumble recovery, interception, and all that kind of stuff. So he's going to be coming in the cave, but not next week. The week after, we got Tony Thrill Hill, another Super Bowl champion from the Cowboys dynasties, coming into the cave. So make sure, if you ain't subscribed, what are you waiting on? Because we got a lot of good things going on in the cave. So definitely check it out. But my thing with Miami, and it really ties into these playoffs, Houston, you're going to get those upsets. They're the home team, and they were the underdogs at home, which doesn't really happen much in the playoffs. Miami looked like they didn't even show up. There was no urgency. It seemed like they had no game plan. I don't know what they were doing because their defense played well. I thought their defense played well enough, but the offense, I don't know if it was Tua. I don't know if it's a coordinator. I don't know, what it was, but it looked like they didn't even want to be there and didn't even care. I mean, it was like they're down a couple touchdowns and they're waiting for the clock to get down to 3, and they're just relaxed going to the line. I couldn't believe it. It was just it was disappointing to see Miami play like that in the playoffs when everything matters, right? So we better not see that today.
Yeah. I think
I agree with that.
cold weather did it.
Yeah.
It did. It had something. It definitely threw Miami off. But Miami was one of those teams that all year this year, man, outside of the Cowboys, I don't think they beat anybody with a winning record the whole year. They had one, and it was the Cowboys. I was never convinced with Miami. I thought they were a finesse team. I kind of saw that I figured they'd get bounced. Anytime this year that they played a good team, like I said, outside of the Cowboys, they pretty much got exposed and beat and slapped around. They're a finesse team. They're just not a physical team. They got some things to do. They got some nice pieces, but when it comes down to it, push comes to shove, they just couldn't really handle these better teams. And honestly, they should have lost to the Cowboys too. So they should have been winless against teams with winning records this year. So, but I saw somebody in the chat mention the whole Amari Cooper thing. We've talked about him in the past. That's been one of the knocks on Amari Cooper, man, not showing up on the road. It was a knock when he was with Dallas, and it's kind of a knock with him now. Playing there with Houston, which is funny because the week before they were at Houston. I was looking at December 24th. Yeah, they were at Houston, and Amari Cooper went for 265 yards and 2 touchdowns against them. But at Houston in the playoffs, when it was pretty big, only 4 receptions for 59 yards and no touchdowns. So
and CJ didn't play in that game, if my memory serves me. I don't think he was in that game. But the other thing that this does, and Doug, we got boots on the ground at AT&T, 15 degrees right now. So
outside.
It's gonna be comfortable inside, but that's cold in Dallas. That's cold in Dallas. That's gonna be cold. So
it's cold
guys
in the D.
and having a good time, man. Just make sure you get that. Make sure you get some Jim Beam or something in you. Get some hard liquor to keep you warm. We don't want anyone getting sick or freezing out there. So
that's that breakfast of the champions. When you drink that breakfast of the champions, it'll keep you warm for quite a while.
Go ahead, Kelly.
I was just gonna say, I'll let y'all know it's negative 15 right here right now, and the high today is negative 8. That's the high.
Ooh, that's Omaha.
It's cold. It's cold, and I was worried. I had some guys. Doug. We obviously I talked with Doug a lot, and they were having trouble getting out. So he made it. He made it because he said it's 15 degrees. So hopefully everyone who was going to the game made it there safely and was able to get on a plane and not miss out, because that would be crushing. So the thing is Jimmy Johnson always talked about this in playoffs. Turnovers matter. Not only you don't want the turnovers, but they can change the game and the pressure and everything that goes with it. And you saw it a lot in Cleveland. That game got out of hand. Once you got a pick six, and then another, things started rolling in, and next thing you know, it's a blowout. So again, that's one of the things you see with the Cowboys, and I feel good about is, one, we don't really turn the ball over a lot. Knock on wood. We don't turn the ball over. But when we get turnovers, we turn them in to touchdowns. I mean, we've done it a lot, obviously, with Bland. So that's the one thing that it's going to be interesting to see. One comment I want to get from you guys and then get your take on it. I see my man Steve. And I know it's fun, the Des Bryant now we've been waiting 3,290 days to pay back Green Bay. But didn't we have a chance to pay him back after in 2016? And we didn't do it. So it's fun because it's always the Dez thing. But a Detroit Lion fan actually, he made a comment in one of my posts, and he said, You're making fun of us for crying about this, but you've been crying about Dez Bryant for about 8 years now. I said, well, that's a good point.
Yeah.
What am I going to do? So, what's your thoughts? The whole Dez catch thing. You guys still think about that? Is that anything that you even concern yourself with, or you want to get some sort of payback in your own mind, or is it just fun? And then just thoughts on the turnovers and the impact that you're seeing in the playoffs.
No, I don't think about that catch, because maybe the rest of that season and that playoff era I did, and I was pissed that Monday morning when the refs admitted they were wrong. But after that, I didn't think about it, because since then we had opportunities to beat Green Bay, and then the defense at the last minute let old boy catch that 30-something yard pass.
Yeah.
And so that kind of wiped that memory out about the Dez catch. The thing is, we can't leave it in the hands of the referees. We got to go out there and play and just smash them and move on with Green Bay. We leave it in the hands of the referees. Who knows what kind of call we're going to get. Oh, and real quick about Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper was hurt. He had a bad ankle injury. Matter of fact, the first catch that he caught in that game, it took him a while to get up. And that's why it looked like he was a no-show in the game. He was hurt. He had a bad ankle injury. They didn't even know if he was going to play in the game. So that hurt them not having him there. But as far as Green Bay, what we can't afford to do is go toe to toe. Because if you notice that game yesterday in Cleveland and the Texans, for a while, this one to get a touchdown on the first play. Then the Texans come back, they'll get a touchdown on the first play. And then Flacco throw another one. And I'm like, man, we don't need a shootout like that today. We need to go down and score, let Green Bay do their thing and slow them down, go down and score. If we stay 10 points ahead each time, 10 points or more, then the game can be comfortable. But we don't need a back and forth, because then that's going to expose our defense.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they can go toe to toe with us. I let Kelly jump in, but they don't want that. Because I'll say that if they try and go score to score with us, it's going to be a blowout on our side. That's just
in Pixies.
Yeah.
Green Bay's only way to win this game is ball control, run the ball, and time of possession. If at the end of the game Green Bay wins the time of possession, I would be very nervous about that game. If Green Bay can dominate the time of possession and if they can run the ball, that's their formula to success. It's not going toe to toe with Prescott passing the ball. I'm not scared of that. Not scared of them in that aspect. I'm not scared of their secondary being able to stop Dak from throwing the ball and doing what he does. But yeah, I mean, turnovers is definitely a key for our defense. I know, because I mean that's kind of a thing where we get turnovers and our defense just kind of it turns it into a feeding frenzy. So as far as to answer the question about the Dez thing, it bothered me a whole lot that year. And really it bothered me again a little bit the next year, because then they changed the rule to where, flashback, that would have been a catch.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, you know what? Thanks, NFL. That did a whole lot for us, last year.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to change it this year. We all knew what we saw on the field, that it was a catch. Every single person that watched that game, whether they were a Cowboys fan or not, it was one of the only times as a Cowboys fan that I've had haters that despise the Cowboys reaching out to me and say, y'all got screwed. Y'all got screwed. That was a catch. You guys got screwed. But, all these years later, 10 years later, no, I don't think about it. I don't look about it as it's a revenge thing. I don't care, man. My whole thing now is that it's Green Bay has really owned us since that time.
Yeah.
14, 16, they even beat us last year in the regular season. So I look at this opportunity to actually just, send Green Bay home and do it in a fashion where it's not a heartbreaking loss for them. It's over by halftime. And they know that the Cowboys were a far superior team. They didn't belong on the field with us. They had a nice little season. It was cute. But, hey, this is the Dallas Cowboys. They're on a mission for 6, and we're going to put our foots on your throats, and you're going to wish you would have never made that trip to AT&T Stadium because we're making nachos on the field.
And, Green Bay's running defense is 28 in the league, and they can't plug holes. And then today, A.J. Dillon, he won't be back there. He's not supposed to be back there today with Aaron Jones. So Aaron Jones is going to have to do it all himself, and he can't do a whole game that way. But in the playoffs, motivation kind of makes up for a little of lack of talent. Like they say, a lot of hustle will make up for a lack of talent. And I think at first they're going to try to put that on the line. Their defense may look good in stopping the run initially because of that motivation. It's the playoffs, it's that drive, but eventually they're going to wear down.
Yeah. Yeah. And we talked about it. So, this is an opportunity. We did our live show Wednesday. We kind of broke down this game a little bit, but now we got a few days to let things marinate. You kind of see how things go. So you got an opportunity to change your mind. So let's talk about the Cowboys win the toss. You want the ball. You want to defer. I'll start with you, Greg. What would you do? What's your ideal situation for the Cowboys winning the toss? What would you do?
I want us to get the ball. I always love it when we take the ball first and we establish what the game is going to be like. Not sit back and wait for them to see what they're going to do and then the offense come in. I want the ball first. I want them to feel that pressure coming right off that bench for that first series. I want us to drive down the field and get a touchdown. That right there take out a little confidence off of them when we move the ball. So if we can get the ball first and run with it, that's great with me. I always love when we get the ball first. I don't want Green Bay to get it. I don't want to see no mistakes. I don't want our defense to get out there cold and all of a sudden make a mistake in the secondary, and then all of a sudden some of the defensive players start getting a little nervous. Offense like, oh, we better hurry up and score to match that. And then something crazy happens. We get 3 and out, and they get the ball back, and it starts looking like, we got to catch up. Get the ball first, run it down their throat, get down there and score, and then let them have to come out and let them panic a little bit because they got a lot of young players. Only 4 veterans from that last time we played them in the playoffs. So those young players, we score first. All of a sudden, a little bit of that confidence starts to shake, and they start getting a little nervous, and then the offense gets nervous, and hopefully your boy Love gives us some love and throws a pick.
Yeah. Yeah. Kelly, what's your thoughts? I agree with you, Greg, by the way.
Yeah, I wanna start out with the ball. I'm that way with the Cowboys. I'm that way if I play Madden. I want the ball. I always want the ball first. Doesn't matter who we're playing, where we're playing, when we're playing. I want the ball first because I want this Cowboys offense. We've said it a lot of times. We've talked about how they play great when they play with the lead. When they start with the lead, it just seems like they just get relaxed. And it's like if they can go right down and score, that sets the tone for the whole game. Then this team is just like, all right. It's like almost like they need that initial confidence booster, They get that, the defense comes out, and they're like, all right, offense is on today. Come out there, and the defense is playing with their hair on fire. The offense is out there. They're confident. So then the next drive, the offense is coming down. They're already in rhythm. Dak and CD establish that rhythm early. You get Tony Pollard added in the mix. Hopefully he gets a few good runs on that drive to kind of get him feeling confidence. It's kind of like basketball when they talk about you want to get a shooter. You want to get him some easy buckets. Start out with Dak getting him in that rhythm, man. Couple of them easy, intermediate over the field throws, couple crossing routes. Get him in a rhythm, and then just let him go. Because when Dak gets in a rhythm, man, he's like one of them great shooters in the NBA. He gets in a rhythm, he gets hot.
Yep.
And it is hard to stop that man when he gets hot.
Yeah.
And I love to see it, man. Because then you got Dak making them passes where he's throwing in between 3 defenders, and you're like, damn, they caught it. Like, how did he do that? We've seen him do that this year, man. He's been doing a lot of that this year, but he's been on point. He's putting that ball where only our wide receiver or tight end can catch it. And watching that as a fan is a thing of beauty because Dak's accuracy this year has been pinpoint.
Yeah, no, absolutely. A couple things in the chat. A lot of people want the ball first. I'm one of those, and I get called you got to go with the times. I typically like to defer, but I want the ball first in this game. I think this is the kind of game where you want the ball first. If they're playing a different team, then I may go back to saying, hey, I want to defer. But I think for the Cowboys and this team, you can really make a statement early, get this team on their heels, kind of get them kind of thinking a little too much, and then hopefully mistakes happen. We just got to take advantage. If we get that ball, we better damn score a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm going to say. And then just a couple quick notes. I did get someone messaged me or put a tweet in. that they had 2 extra tickets for the game. They upgraded their seats, so they had 2 standing room only. I don't know if he gave them away yet. I retweeted it. So anyone with ideally he's trying to find, father and their child or mother and their child, something like that. If you guys see it, go to my Twitter page. If you fit that criteria, maybe give him a message. Like I said, I don't know. He might already found someone, but that's a great opportunity to go to the game, especially if you live close by. Definitely do that. And then there was a question in the chat from Frank. Mike, you guys plan on doing an after game show? Here's the deal. I'm sure I can speak for these guys as well. I'm a sore loser. If things don't go right, you ain't gonna see me because I don't want to get myself in trouble for saying on this. It can be recorded and it can be sent to places I work and things like that. So I got to be careful. So that won't happen. But I plan on us winning. I plan on us winning big, and then I plan on us having at least I'll be on the show. And if you guys want to jump on, absolutely too. And you guys, hopefully, you'll jump on as well. Everyone in the chat. But that's kind of like the game plan. But I agree with the ball. Getting back to the business at hand, I agree with the ball. So the question they have, we talked about it earlier, and I know Greg, you said it is a chance for them to win is running the ball. Now call me crazy, Kelly and Greg, but I'm not as concerned about our run defense. I think we've had bad spurts, but I think overall our run defense has been solid. I think the way to have a really good run defense is have your offense, like you guys said, get a lead and kind of take that running game away from them. But stopping Aaron Jones, you're getting Hankins back. You've got that. He's had our number for some reason.
Yeah.
3 years. What would be your game plan, or what's your thoughts? Can we stop the run, or do we just need to contain and try and minimize what he can do? Or we just got to jump way ahead and the only way to stop the run is to make him stop running? What's your guys' thought? Greg, I'll start with you.
Well, because Aaron Jones is going to be the primary running back for the Green Bay Packers, I think we realize that because we know the injury report. So I think they'll be keying on Aaron Jones. And because of that, I'm sure they're going to give him the ball at first to see how successful he is. But I think they're going to rely on a passing game because Jordan Love has been playing really good ball passing it. He's been on point. He's been able to throw the ball through the windows. That's what they're going to rely on is their passing game. If the running game doesn't seem to start off too well, I don't know who their backup running back is unless that person comes out of nowhere and shines like nobody expected.
Anyone know the backup? Put it in the chat because I don't know. I just know.
Yeah, because I don't have a problem worrying about the running game. Aaron Jones can't run the entire game by himself all game, so that's not going to be the issue. It's the passing game that I want to make sure that the Cowboys are aware of on the cornerbacks, and I know they're going to try to attack that side if Stephon Gilmore is there or not because they want to see just how injured he is. But somebody in the chat, somebody named Susan mentioned. And this is I always think about this about the Cowboys. The Green Bay has a lot going against them in this game, but everybody brings their A game when they play the Cowboys. Everybody. And what I hope the Cowboys are aware of is that Green Bay knows that the talent isn't going to really be there as much, so they're going to try to punch that ball out every time we get the ball. Don't be surprised if you see every time one of our receivers or running backs get the ball, that Green Bay's trying to punch that ball out every time because they need that hustle to make up for that lack of talent they have in being able to stop us. So the running game, I'm not that concerned about. If they're really successful in the running game, there's going to be some problems because then Jordan Love will be able to pick us apart when he wants to. It's the passing game that we need to slow down. And our cornerbacks and D-backs and linebackers are so good that I think Jordan Love is going to give us some picks. So if they can stop that passing game on Jordan Love, the running game is not going to be detrimental.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Kelly, you're pouring some fresh drinks over there. What do you got?
Hey, I brought my bottle into the room. That way I didn't have to go dry on a drink, man. So, I came prepared, just like the Dallas Cowboys come up prepared today. All right. Yeah, I agree, man. So I agree with Greg here. I was looking it up while he was talking because I wanted to get some numbers in front of me. But and I know he's been dealing with some injuries, but Aaron Jones, this is his career low in yards per carry, touchdowns, and total yards.
Yeah.
It's his career low. So this is not the Aaron Jones we faced. I think it was 2019 when he went for 4 touchdowns against the Cowboys. I remember that game. He had 4 touchdowns. I mean, he was just unstoppable when he got the ball.
Do you have his game?
This
Do
is
you
not
have his?
that
Do
it-
you have his per game? Do you have his the numbers by per game or just total? I was just curious.
I just got I got the per game as
Look
well.
at his last 3
Which
games
game-
because that's what I'm hearing is his last 3 games he's kind of been.
Yeah, he's kind
come
of
off
exploded.
injury. He's come off injury in his last 3 games is give you a cause to scratch your head
Right.
there because it's been pretty impressive. He's went for 111 against Chicago, he went for 120 against Minnesota, and he went for 127 against Carolina. Now, respectively, though,
Yeah.
none of those teams really have very good defenses.
Yeah.
Let's face it. Chicago, Minnesota are 7-win teams apiece. Carolina is one of the worst teams in the league, and Carolina took them to a 30-point game. It was 33-30. So they needed every last bit of that. Now, I will also say that in any of those games, he had 0 touchdowns. So he didn't score the ball. He ran it well. But also, those were wins. And I didn't watch those games, so I don't know how the game flowed.
Yeah.
If
It was late yards.
He was able to run and get some in yards late. I don't know. But I do know he has played better after he's come back from that MCL injury that he had. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm still concerned with him just because of the fact that I do think that he has the capability to be dangerous.
Yeah.
He does have that capability, and Dallas does have the capability of struggling with the run at times. But I just feel like that the key with this Packers team will be to put pressure on Jordan Love early and to do it with rushing 4. And putting our guys back in coverage, our linebackers, and just rush 4. If you can get pressure with 4 on that, Green Bay front, which I believe that we can, then I think that you're going to see. I think it's going to make for a long day for Jordan Love, and I think that's when I think he will throw an interception or 2 today. I really do. I think that this is the way that this front creates pressure, and this is where I looked at Dan Quinn to have him have an innovative and creative defensive plan with how he's getting pressure on that 4, rotating out with some fresh guys. We've talked all year about the depth across this line. I would like to see some appearances by Sam Williams on that defensive line today. I want to see Sam Williams out there getting some opportunities. Obviously you got D-Law and you got Micah, but then you got Odighizuwa up front. You got, Hankins is back. You got, you've got guys that you can bring pressure from. Fowler. You've got guys that you can bring pressure from all different areas on that front 4. I want to see Dan Quinn get creative with that, and also pick and choose when he's bringing that blitz and confuse these guys to where they don't know where that blitz is coming from. Bring that blitz, and so I just think that if they do that, because under pressure, Jordan Love, his stats are awful under pressure. We talked about it on that on EJ's podcast the other night, Boys in the Zone, and we broke down the numbers. Patrick Nosey Walker had an article that he wrote up, and it showed the numbers of Jordan Love under pressure, and they are not good. They are not good. So Dallas, I mean, what do they say? Pressure bust pipes. Well, today pressure bust Love.
And that's what that's the thing. The key is the pressure. He's not. I don't think he's no threat to be running all over the place and all of that. They just got to get him, make him uncomfortable. Good things will happen. I will say, hey. Big thanks to everyone in the chat and also people looking over 60 in the room right now. So that means we should have 60 likes. So if you guys are in here now, man, just take a quick second, hit that thumbs up, man. It don't cost you a nickel, but it does a good job.
And Mike, let me just say something. That's why we should have been doing this at 9 o'clock to begin with. My time, man. The people are awake, man. But the audience is awake. Mike want to be doing these things at the crack of dawn, man. Only the roosters and the sun are up that early.
You don't think the playoffs have anything to do about it? You just think it's quick?
Yeah, a little bit good. Yeah, a little bit good. Maybe a little bit.
No, but definitely appreciate all the love. And if you're new, again, hit that subscribe. I hate to keep saying it, but I have so many people, Kelly and I, and I'm sure even Greg sometimes, it's like, hey, we do this show. They don't even know. So we always have to keep reminding you. So it's just constant in your head. So let's talk about the Cowboys. We talked a little bit about Jordan Love. Talk about the pressure that we can get. Everything, if this team shows up, and I hate to say if, but I think this team 100% will show up. If they don't get the pressure, are you concerned with Bland, Gilmore coming off an injury? You concerned about anything in the secondary? if we don't get the pressure? Do you think they can take advantage of us or no?
Well, listen, you can give anybody, any quarterback in the NFL time, and they will find somebody. There are holes everywhere. DBs don't know where the receivers are going. The receivers do. And whether you play zone or not, somebody's going to get open if you give a quarterback time.
Yeah.
So if Jordan Love starts to get time, there's going to be some issues, some big issues, because you can't blame it on the secondary, because the secondary can't hold back all these receivers for a long period of time when everybody's running and he's sitting back there making pancakes. You can't do that. I want to see Tank. I said this last week. I'm going to say it for the rest of the playoffs. I want Tank to take control of that defense on his side. I want Tank to be one of the MVPs on the defensive line during these playoffs, because Micah's going to be Micah. If Tank does what Tank needs to do, Jordan Love does not get time. And if we notice that Jordan Love doesn't get time, they're going to have to adjust. And when they adjust, hopefully when they adjust, those adjustments are not precise and it starts giving us picks. And Lewis is going to be successful on the blitz. I guarantee you. That's Charlie Hustle. He is a Charlie Hustle. So Jordan Love cannot get time. Like Kelly said it, the number one factor in this game for the Dallas Cowboy defense is to pressure Love. You give Love time, he's going to give his receiver some love, and it's going to be trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. I think we're going to get pressure on them all day. Their offensive line is not going to hold up to our defensive line. They hadn't seen a defensive front like this, but I mean, Kelly, anything to add? And then we're going to flip it over to the offense, our offense versus their defense. I'm just trying to give any cracks in our in the armor for us to where they could even have a shot. But go ahead, Kelly, finish us up on the defense side.
None. This is why I feel confident. This is why I've been saying that I feel confident. It's not just lip service, man. Normally, when the Cowboys are in the playoffs and they're going to play a team, I experience some nerves. And I'm not saying that there's not a little bit of nervous excitement, because it's the playoffs. It's one and done. You understand that today, if you don't win, your season's over, right? So you understand that. But I feel confident, and I don't feel that normal nerves. I feel kind of like last week when we played the Commanders. It started out, it was a tough game. It was tight for a little bit, but the whole time I'm sitting there thinking, this Cowboys going to blow the doors off. Cowboys going to blow the doors off. Just wait, give it time, give it a minute, and then that's what they did. And that's how I feel about this game, man. I feel like our secondary is better. Our front seven is better. I feel like our offense is better. I feel on every position that you can point to, player position for player position, Dallas is better, period. And I know they always say, the better team doesn't always win. Yes, that's true. But this is the playoffs. This is playing at AT&T Stadium. This Dallas Cowboys team that's on a mission, like Dak said. They're not worried about the NFC East titles. Mm-hmm. They're looking for a Super Bowl title. So if you truly believe that message from the leader of this team, and Dak Prescott's the leader of this team, then this team's gonna come in, they're gonna steamroll Green Bay, man. They're gonna steamroll them because they're the better team, and the better team today will win because they're gonna execute better, and they're just gonna, that talent's gonna show up all over the field and all the positions we got, because that secondary, we got dogs all over the secondary. Jordan Lewis is playing spectacular, like Greg said. He's playing spectacular. Dude's a dog. Charlie Hustle. I mean, you got Gilmore. You got Bland. The safeties, like Cam said the other day, they'll leave a little lacking at times. But even their play has been good this year. The linebackers, you're seeing Damone Clark come around, play better. Marquise Bell, he's been playing pretty good all year, but sometimes on the tackles, he's a little iffy. Guy's a little small, man. Yeah. He's about about a biscuit short of being a linebacker. So
that was Roy Williams.
Yeah. But I mean, and I like everything that we have on all the positions all the way across the board, man. So I just think that, we got a superior advantage.
Finally, I think hopefully this is right on defense. We're going to do a little throwback to our man Eugene. Hopefully he's doing well.
Give me somebody that's hungry. Give me somebody that's hungry. I need somebody.
That's what we need.
That's what I'm talking about.
This is what we need on defense.
They don't understand nothing else. They're not all about glamour. They're not all about the women, the girls. Give me somebody that's hungry. Give me somebody that's hungry. I need somebody.
I love that,
That's
man.
what we need. That's
I
what we
love
need.
that.
That's what we need. It's a playoffs. I mean, that's what we're talking. There is no time for the BS. There's no time to be lax. There's no time to be any of that kind of stuff. So they've got to be hungry. They've got to be ready, and they got to want to eat. I think this defense is going to do it. I have no doubts. We've been a top 5 defense. I don't think there's going to be any lax. I think they're going to steamroll them. But we at least wanted to give you the other side. Is there any opportunity for Green Bay to do it? I've said their only chance in hell is the Cowboys just got to not show up. And it's happened once. It's happened once to us. We don't want that to happen again, obviously. But going to the offensive side. So you look at our offense versus their defense. A lot of bad matchups for the Packers. What could you see as any opportunity for them to slow this offense down if they can at all? Greg, I will we'll start with you.
No, I don't see any opportunities for Green Bay to slow our offense down because we have too many receiver weapons, and their secondary is trash. Green Bay's secondary is trash. Their opportunities are our quarterbacks making big mistakes. That's the only opportunities they have. We got so many weapons going out there after the ball, but Dak needs to spread it. There's been a lot of talk about CeeDee Lamb this week in the media. Everybody knows CeeDee Lamb is the #1 receiver. Yes, Green Bay knows that, and they're going to be on him. Okay, Mike McCarthy, flip the script. CeeDee Lamb doesn't need to be the MVP of this game. Flip the script. Michael Gallup, hit Tolbert, Ferguson. Go down the line. Shake Green Bay's secondary up so that they're not looking at Lamb all day long, because Lamb's going to get his opportunity. And just when they're not looking, bam, there's Lamb. Hit Cooks. I mean, we look at the weapons we got. How can those DBs in Green Bay, especially when their #1 DB is hurt, how can those DBs keep up with all those receivers? It's impossible. It's impossible. And Dak needs to spread the ball. Whoever's open, bust him, hit him. And if he does that, we're going to kill him. We can score 41 points on them with the receivers alone because their secondary, I'm telling you, is trash.
Yeah, we have Ian, Packer fan. I appreciate him coming in. He wanted to get some viewpoints from our side, see what we're saying. They've got he said they got 2 rookies, 35 and 37. They're going to need to step up and stop 88. I could just tell you that's going to be a problem. I'm just being honest. 2 rookies, that's going to be a problem with stopping 88. Hopefully, they're going to have a different game plan. But Kelly, what's your thoughts? Is there anything that you see from their defense that could slow, stop, do whatever to our offense?
The only way that they'll be able to slow us down is if one of the Green Bay staff members was able to sneak into Dak Prescott's room and give him a vial of flu mixed with a little bit of COVID, mixed with a little bit of diarrhea, and that's the only way you're going to slow Dak Prescott down. That's about the only way you're going to slow Dak. Nothing's slowing him down, man. I mean, seriously, this offense has been high-powered all year long, even more high-powered at home, and I do agree, about, spreading the ball around. I do agree with the well-distributed ball and everything. But I also think that it is important to establish CeeDee early, because you look at the games when they have established him early and get that pass game going. I mean, every time that CeeDee Lamb has had double-digit receptions this year, I mean, he's went completely off. 12 for 158, 11 for 191, 11 for 151, 12 for 116, 6 for 118, 13 for 227. The only time he went for double digits and didn't get 100 yards was last week, 13 for 98, but he had 2 touchdowns. So I do think it's important to get CeeDee, because he has evolved this year to where he's one of those wide receivers that you go into the game and you're just like, you are going to have to prove that you can stop this Dak to CeeDee connection, because if you can't, we're going to pound it down your throat all game long. That's going to be the common theme, is you're going to see 88 catching that ball from number 4, right? So, and I agree though, you got to mix in Cooks. You got to make in Cooks. He's been playing great. Ferguson, get him the ball too. When Dak's spreading the ball around and you can't really figure out where he's going, that's the thing of beauty. But I do think that, getting CD established early is often been a key to, you look at that Miami Dolphins game. I point back to that game. We got him involved early. We were having early success. Second and third quarters, we just go away from him. And that's, next thing you know, we're trailing and we come back to him in the fourth quarter. And it's almost like it was little too late.
Yeah.
So I just really like the fact that CD has become that guy to where every defense knows he's our number one read and they can't stop it.
Yeah.
They can't stop it because he's that kind of receiver. He's in the ilk of a Devontae Adams. He's in the ilk of a guy like, Justin Jeff, like these guys, these top elite receivers that it don't matter. You can double him. You can try to do, but they're going to move CD all around the formation. You don't know where he's coming from. He may be running a jet sweep. He may be lined up at running back. He may be coming out the slot. He may be left. He may be right. And Green Bay's secondary is not prepared to deal with that, nor are they equipped to deal with that. So it's going to be a thing of beauty today, man. I look for a big game from CD Lamb today.
No, I made the comment. I think CD Lamb's the best receiver in the NFL right now. Tyreek Hill's right there, but Tyreek Hill, I'm not going to put this last game, not the playoff game, but even the other ones I watched against the Bills and a few other ones, he dropped some, he dropped some passes that were game changing, where he had opportunity to score a touchdown or make a difference. CD just seems like he's on another level, but wanted to bring you in. I put a link out there, say, hey, if you want to hop in. So we've got a guest coming in, and this man knows the deal. He knows what's going on. He knows if there's going to be maybe these referees are going to have their stuff together, or maybe they're kind of going to play some games because Vegas needs to win the money. So we got our Vegas Insider. We got Uncle Cheech hopping in the cave real quick.
What's up,
Cheech? Uncle Cheech?
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning, Uncle Cheech.
See, I make it a little later, and Uncle Cheech jumps in too. You see how this works? So maybe Kelly's onto something. So, hey, Uncle Cheech, thoughts just real quick. Cowboys, we're talking about the Cowboys and the Packers. You had the first two games. We talk about turnovers, talk about all this kind of stuff. What's all your inside information? What's Vegas saying? Obviously the Cowboys are a big favorite. There's a huge record as a big favorite in the wild card at home. I think it's like 22-2 or something.
All right, I'll get into that in a minute. But
what's up?
First, I got to tell you, that Cleveland Houston game, that was my lock, and I never lost a lock by that many points in my 50 years of doing it. That trade, they got the best end of the deal for sure. It started to remind me of the Herschel Walker trade.
It's turning out to be that. Turning out to be that. The Texans are building quite a team with those picks.
I got to tell you, they played brilliantly on both sides of the ball. Excellent coaching. My hat's off to them. I eat my words. I admit it.
That's what we like to hear.
Cheech, I didn't get it. We didn't get time on the show the other day. I didn't get time to tell you, but when you had said the lock, I wanted to get in, and then it kind of got away from me. But Houston was my upset pick of the week. I liked Houston a lot, and the reason why was because I got the defense for Cleveland, but I just like the quarterbacks. I'm all about the quarterback matchups in the playoffs, and I just thought Stroud was that much better than Flacco. And I know Flacco had played decent as of late, but I just wasn't sold on Flacco. I didn't think it'd be near that bad. I figured it'd be a closer game. I figured Houston squeak it out 3 to 7 points. Yeah. In that kind of deal.
They had the number one defense.
Yeah, they did.
I'm telling you, that's what I was going to say. Those pick sixes against Flacco, that did them in, man. Yeah. That turned that thing into a blowout.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. So, what's your thoughts on this game, Cheech? I know you picked the Cowboys.
In a minute, I told you what you call it. I want to talk about my Dolphins.
We know the Dolphins didn't show up. They didn't show up. So.
Let me tell you something. A very valued friend of mine from down here, John DeGlarius, he put a post up, and I kind of agree with him now. He said McDaniel's way over his head. The rest of the league has figured him out. We lost we're 1-5 in the last 6 games. Bottom line, he's saying he's got to go, and I'm kind of leaning in that direction. It was, all our offensive players were there, and that's the best we could do.
They didn't even show up. There was no game plan, but Tua just looked like he didn't even want to
It
be
was
there either.
atrocious. I had to drink a couple extra beers just to survive it. Terrible.
Greg,
Well,
Greg,
Cheech.
how did your wife handle it?
Well, no, my wife was in the other room watching something else, and I would come back and I would go in there from time to time and give her the score and tell her, and she'd be like, And then when the game was over, I said, Miami got beat. I said, the Chiefs rolled over. And she's like,
They didn't just get beat; they got destroyed.
But Chiefs, do you think
Yeah,
the
they got
weather
smacked
had
around.
a lot to do with Miami?
What's that?
Do you think the weather had a lot to do
Oh,
with
certainly
Miami?
the weather did, but the weather was bad for them too.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
the weather was it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Yeah, it's cold. Don't get me
I
wrong.
understand we had problems with the defense, but the offense was there. All your key players were there, and they couldn't do better than 7 points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if you lose the game, I understand, but that you got all your weapons, high-powered offense, too much speed, you could do nothing.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
he's on to
and
something.
I'll say this.
Take a look at this coach.
I'll say this for the Chiefs, man. That that rookie receiver that they got, he really came on towards the end of the season. That Rashee Rice for Kansas City. For all the talk of them not having weapons at wide receiver, he's really came on, man. I mean, he's a speedster. He's turning into a well-rounded wide receiver for Kansas City, and I thought he played pretty big last night. But I remember watching Patrick Mahomes. I'll just say this: he's a Texas kid. He don't like the cold either. I was at a game one time, Iowa State and Texas Tech. It was Ames, Iowa, and it was 10 degrees, and the wind chill was below zero. I remember I sat in the stands for about a quarter and a half, and I said, let's get the hell out of here, man. Iowa State was whooping all over, and Mahomes, you could tell he didn't want to be out there. He was cold. He hated it. After the game, he said it was miserable. Never want to play another game like that again. But last night, he was in the game, got his helmet cracked open. I've never seen a helmet break before.
Never saw that happen, ever.
Never saw that.
And you know that play where he got his helmet cracked, remember he was running, and one of the defensive players for Miami, when he ran through him, he just kind of swiped and that's something that's going on in all the teams this year. When a quarterback gets close to the defensive players, they're expecting him to go down. That's why they're not really tackling him. Quarterbacks are getting smart in the league, realizing when I get close to him, they're expecting me to go down, so they're probably just going to swipe at me. I'm going to run and get another extra 5 or 7 yards. And that's what he did, and then he ran into that guy and cracked his helmet.
Yeah, and they said that they were supposed to either call a timeout or Mahomes was supposed to leave the field because and they gave him time to kind of switch everything out, which wouldn't have made a difference. So
No, it wouldn't have made a difference.
Game all day, it wouldn't change the outcome.
All right. Well,
anyhow, Carmenuch and Vinny Smaldone and their better halves are coming over. Maria LaBeche is going to make a big tray of Italian-style chicken wings.
Nice.
And we got a couple cases of beer. We're going to be watching the game. Both games. I'm sorry they canceled the other one on Monday, but we'll be watching the game. And I know you're a suspicious man. Superstitious.
Superstitious.
I just want to give you something to think about before I check out.
Oh, what up?
Last time I picked the Dallas Cowboys, you played Green Bay at home.
I don't want to hear about it. Don't even go there.
Let me give you something to think about.
Yeah, don't even go there. They're saying heavy money's on Green Bay, so
of course it is.
I expect them to win.
Yeah.
Too much firepower, too much defense.
Yeah. Well, more importantly, for those new people who don't know, Uncle Cheech is the Vegas Insider. When the season is starting, you come on the cave. He's on every Monday, pops in on Wednesday. It's an opportunity for you guys to make a little scuttle, like we like to say. You know, if you're a little short on the rent, this opportunity to kind of reinvest, maybe double your money up a little bit. You can do all that kind of stuff. But if by any chance you're losing your house, you're losing your car, there's a very important number to call, right, Cheech?
1-800-GAMBLER. You call that, and Greg, we see we got our quarterback from my beloved Canes.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Oh boy, it's gonna be something this year.
Out.
So
yeah, I hope it does too.
We're gonna do a Miami show, but Cheech, Uncle Cheech, I appreciate you popping in.
All right, you guys.
Yep.
Hopefully, have a good win today. I'll be watching the game. Old Carmenucci will be here. I haven't seen him in a while, and we're going to have a good time. We're going to make a little party out of this today.
Yeah,
So.
hopefully it'll be
All
a good
right,
party.
Cheech.
Hopefully a good party. Take care, Cheech.
All right,
All
guys.
right, man.
All right.
Enjoy the party, Cheech. Enjoy the football. Hey, man, I'll just say this right there. When he talks about the superstitious, I'm not superstitious, but I'm a little stitious.
Yeah,
I'm a little
yeah.
stitious.
I knew where he was
Michael
going.
Scott from the office.
I'm not.
Oh,
I'm,
What's up, Mikey?
House.
What's up?
What's up, Mikey?
How's everyone doing?
we're doing
All
good. We're
right.
just talking about. Let's get back to the task at hand. You can get your insight. We're talking about this Cowboys offense. So you got is this a day? And I've been preaching it. We got to get this running game going. Is this the day that we finally just explode with our run game, playing a porous run defense? You got Pollard, you get Rico. I mean, what do you guys think? We'll start, Mike. You just jumped on board. What do you think of the running game against their defense? And flip it to Greg and Kelly. You finish it up.
Well, I think this is a game where Pollard has to show up. I think this is a game where we have to run the ball. Yeah, we're gonna throw it to CD and Tolbert and Gallup and Cooks and all that, but we have to run the ball, especially against Green Bay, because the way we're gonna win is keeping Jordan Love off the field. That's the way we're gonna win.
I think we're going to win just because we're going to beat the hell out of them. But
That's the point. That's the point. That's why we need to run the ball.
Yeah, with Green Bay's defense being 28 in the league, I think of all the games this season, Pollard gets his rewards today. When those holes open up on a 28th ranked defense and his scooting scant the way Pollard is, he's going to rush. And this might, believe it or not, this may be more of a game for Pollard than anybody else. Because on that type of defense, yeah, you're going to be a little motivating, more motivated when you come into the game. Okay, so you rank 28. Well, you might play like you rank 25 now because you're playing on motivation and desire. But still, you're the same defense. And Pollard is going to eat him up. And if Pollard eats him up, Dak's going to sit back there and lick his chops. Because now, when he does throw the ball, it's wide open. Wide open. So everybody plays safe, no injuries. Pollard goes off today, and Green Bay is really in trouble. Really in trouble.
Yeah. And I think, and Kelly, want you to jump in. I think this is the kind of thing where you need, it could be a building block, a confidence for this run game, right? Kelly and I, we've talked about on our show, I guess all year. We're waiting on it. But maybe this is what you can get to get that running game going. So, Kelly, what's your thoughts on the run game today? It is a great opportunity for them.
Yeah, damn, man, I had some spicy Bloody Mary splash back in my eye, man. My eye's on fire. Yeah, man, I think it is a good opportunity to get the run game going. I think, the Green Bay, their run defense is whenever you see a team's weakness, I mean, what do you do as an offensive coordinator? You want to exploit and you want to attack that weakness. Well, Green Bay's weakness is their run defense. So, obviously, I feel like that's what we do is we attack them. Now, I hope what we do is mix in a healthy dose of Pollard and Dowdle because I like what I saw from Dowdle. I've liked what I've seen from him all year, and it always just seems like the carries are just not quite. I'd like to see them a little bit more even, but. Either way, you attack their run defense and you exploit that run defense. That's what you do because the thing is, if the Cowboys are successful in running the ball, when they want to run the ball in the situations that they choose to run the ball, what that's going to do is it's going to open up that passing game for Dak, right? I mean, obviously, you heard the guy that was in here, the Green Bay fan earlier. They've got a couple of rookie cornerbacks. That never bodes well for a defense, period. Especially when you've got a guy like Dak Prescott. And then let's just face it, man. I've watched the progression of Dak, right? And I was thinking about this last night. I feel like that Dak Prescott right now is kind of like to that level. Remember when Tony Romo's body started failing him?
Yeah.
His body started failing him, but he was just playing at an elite level, like seeing the field. And you just had this you got this different feeling about Romo at that point in his career. You're like, damn, this dude is going to make all the right throws, all the right decisions. He just elevated his game. This is how I feel about Dak Prescott right now. I feel like he's at that 2015, 2014 level that Romo was at. The only difference is Dak Prescott's bodying him. Dak Prescott is healthy. Dak Prescott is looking, big, strong, physical, like he's looking great. I feel like he is having that Tony Romo moment, elevating his game up to another level and just seeing the field better than he ever has. So if you were able to run the ball well, trust, man, that's going to do big things for the pass game, man. And then you've got a guy this like Dak Prescott who will surgically slice through that secondary. So everything just lines up well for this Dallas Cowboys offense to have a big game. I think they can be balanced in the run and the pass. And I think all of it is going to lead to this team just having an explosive performance on the field today. And I think the storyline tomorrow will be Dallas, shreds the Green Bay cheese. I mean, that's what it's going to be. I think that.
Yeah, and I think we're going to dominate him. Cole's Cowboys.
I think
in the
so.
house. Definitely great to see him. Make sure you guys check out his YouTube channel as well and subscribe. I saw Boys in the Zone popping in at one point. So we had a great time with them on Friday. It was such a good round. I love doing that kind of stuff. We had a great time. So definitely check them out. But more importantly, if you guys are still hanging with us, man, hit that like, hit that subscribe, share, all that good stuff, because we just getting this party started. More importantly, you just hear what I said. I need to start trademarking some stuff. I think Kelly needs to trademark some stuff because lo and behold, we love our followers. They always got our back. And someone clipped an audio of Kelly and I, someone using our voices on the radio to pump up Cowboys. Now, I'll be honest with you, I have zero problem with that. You guys, anytime you want to take a clip of mine, have at it. I would just appreciate, a little something for the effort. Maybe you give a plug for the Cowboys Cave, get a plug for Kelly and I, something like that. But it was cool to hear. It was definitely cool to hear.
Yeah,
that was cool.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
that was really cool.
It was the FM radio station too. I was like, okay.
I know, it wasn't even AM.
Well, the guy tagged you and didn't know that it was my voice. And I heard you saying it, and I'm listening to him. And then I heard the "How about them Cowboys?" I'm like, wait, that's me. I'm like,
I'll be honest.
I wonder where they.
I listened to it twice, and the first one, obviously, I can hear my own voice easily, and then yours, I'm like. I was like, was that Jimmy John's? I said, man, but it did sound like Kelly. And I kept going back and forth. And someone said that, man, that was Kelly. And as soon as they said that, I said, no doubt. Because I think because you dragged out your Cowboys for a while. Like, I think you do. But it was that video, I think, or won the division or something like that. But it definitely, that was cool to hear. It was cool to hear. And so I think it was 97.9. Sure. So give you guys some love, the beat. But next time, man, just give a little Cowboys Cave plug to the show, to Kelly and I. That's all we want, man. Maybe
or some beer money.
They gotta hook us
beer
up.
money.
Maybe, my kid wants a shirt, something. What's wrong with that? Kelly, your kids want a shirt, you give us something. But that was fun. But the atmosphere at AT&T. So unfortunately, right, we're not there. We're going to be watching it from our homes and our own caves. Or I think, Kelly, you're hanging out with Cowboys Nation. Are you going out there, or is it too cold to be traveling? What's your plan?
There is not a damn thing that's keeping me from going to kick it with Cowboys Nation today. I'm gonna be there, and I'm gonna be celebrating. We've already talked to some of the people that go out there, the group, and put out the guy that runs the Cowboys fan page put out a notification, said, hey guys, come on out. Listen, by that time at 4:00, we're going to be reaching our high, which means we're going to be -8 degrees. We're going to be fine. I mean, throw on a coat, throw on a beanie, get in your car, get your ass out there. Let's celebrate this Cowboys win. Ain't nothing holding us back.
No.
And make sure you take your Tito's with you.
And what's up, Mark, in the chat, man? Appreciate it. Stars, the star we are. Obviously, great guys too. I think they're getting their channel going. I don't know if they have a full-on channel yet, but obviously follow all these guys on Twitter. It's a great family. But Cowboys handle the business. Don't like looking ahead, so we're not going to talk about looking ahead. But I will say, Mikey and I will be at AT&T next week. We plan on being there. Cowboys handle that business. I already booked the flights and everything, so we're good to go. But let's talk about, and then we're going to get into predictions. But the next game. So you've got Detroit. And you've got the Rams. And then Monday, let's just stick with the NFC because that's all we care about, really. You got the Bucks and you've got the Eagles. So I'll say this. Obviously, the Rams and Eagles going to be playing the Dome. Weather's not going to be an issue. I live in Tampa. Word on the street is it's going to be torrential rain on Monday. A.J. Brown's not playing. I mean, what's your guys' thoughts on this game quickly? We'll start Mikey, Greg, and then Kelly, you wrap it up.
Which game? The Lions game?
Both of them, the Lions, Rams, and then quickly on the
I think
Bucks.
I really think the Lions and Rams, the Lions and Rams game, that's going to be the game. That's going to be the game everyone's going to want to watch just because you got Stafford coming back to Detroit. But I think Detroit's going to beat them. I just think they will just because you got one of the best running back duos in the league with Gibbs and Montgomery. You got Amon. He's a dog. He is. He's elite. Jamison Williams will get your deep ball. That's what he's been doing recently. He did it against us, but then he got hurt. But I don't think there's nobody like the Rams don't have corners. That's the problem. Like the Rams have Aaron Donald, obviously, but they don't have who's a corner on the Rams that's going to stop Amon or Jamison?
Yeah.
You know, like
do you think Stafford being home does that give you any kind of any thoughts or no?
No.
Okay. All right. So you got the Lions handling the business. So
I got the Lions winning.
How about the Bucks? You're going now. I'm going to guys. Listen to what I'm going to say here. My son breaks my heart when I heard this. My son is going to the Buccaneer-Eagles game.
Scout.
I'm scouting. Exactly. I'm scouting. I'm looking.
We got boots on the ground in the stadium in case we're
make it a lot better.
So, what's your thoughts on that game? What's your thoughts on that game, Mikey?
I've said it. I've been telling my friends are Bucks fans. I've been telling them this whole week. I really do think the Bucks are going to expose the Eagles. I'm talking what the Giants.
I think they're already exposed, but you think they're going to?
So I'm saying they're going to do exactly what the Giants did to the Eagles. I think they're just going to throw the ball. Mike Evans is going to do his thing. Chris Godwin. They have no secondary. Hurts is not him no more. He's had the same stats Dak had last year, but no one wants to talk about that. No one wants to talk about his 15 interceptions. Where's all that?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like why aren't they saying, "Oh, was he really worth the money?" But when Dak does it,
yeah. No, I get. So you got the Bucks and you got the Lions. So Greg, what's your thoughts on these NFC games after ours?
Well, let me start with the Bucks Eagles first. I'm with Mikey on the Bucks and Eagles as long as Baker Mayfield can endure the game because he's got some injuries. And the Eagles know how deficient they are. And I guarantee you, Fletcher Cox and those guys are going to try their damnedest to hurt Baker Mayfield, to put him out the game, to give them some form of an advantage. And if the offensive line will protect Baker, I think the Bucks upset. And it doesn't sound like, people say upset. Yeah, well, anytime you beat the Philadelphia Eagles, especially after last year, is considered an upset, as most people say. But I think the Bucks take that game long as Baker Mayfield stays healthy. Now, the Detroit Rams game, remember I told you that the team that everybody needs to watch out for, regardless of whether we beat them or not, are the Rams, because the Rams are playing like they played the last part of the season. They're playing like they played during the Super Bowl era. Detroit is playing at home. Detroit is going to be extremely motivated and fired up to win this game. And they know the only way they lose this game is by making mistakes. They make mistakes and allow Stafford to take advantage of them. They're going to lose this game at home. But I'll be rooting for the Lions because I want to see the Rams out of the playoffs, because I think right now they're probably the most underrated, dangerous team in the playoffs right now, the way they're playing. But I think the Lions.
Let me ask you on that. So, and I get it. The Rams, they've got their offense. They've got Stafford, and they've been playing better. There's no way the Cowboys play them until the NFC Championship game if we look ahead. So the matchup, would you like to see the Rams playing San Francisco? Because that to me, if there's one opportunity for San Francisco to get in trouble, is playing a division rival. So I kind of want the Rams to win because I think that's the best matchup for San Francisco. If you're trying to knock them out, of course we want that home game if we win. If we keep winning. But what's your thoughts on that? I was just curious.
I personally don't want to play the Rams with Puka Nacua, Coop. And Stafford. They get to that level. I think those boys are going to be so motivated. They're going to be playing like they did during the Super Bowl era, and I think they're going to be trouble. I don't want to play the Rams.
You'd rather play San Francisco in San Francisco than the Rams at home if you had your wish.
Oh no! If I had my wish and it was a home game, I want to play at
Well,
home.
that's the thing. That's what I'm saying is
Yeah.
the Rams. We will never play the Rams unless it's the NFC Championship game.
So if the Rams beat the Lions, I mean, if the Lions beat the Rams,
We
who
play
do we play
Detroit.
next?
We play the Lions. If
Yeah,
that
we would play the Lions.
Detroit.
Oh, but
if
then
the
we got to go.
Rams beat the Lions, we play the winner of Tampa and
But
Eagles.
the Lions have to come to us.
Philly.
Yes.
The
yes.
Lions have to come to us. Anybody comes to us, I'm ready. I want to play the Lions versus the Rams.
I was saying looking ahead, like if I don't want to be confusing, but like looking at if you're going to look ahead, which I hate to do, so don't yell at me saying one game at a time in the chat. I'm just talking. So looking ahead, the Rams are the 6th seed. They're going to, if we beat the Packers, the Rams are now the lowest seed. They're always going to go to the highest seed. So they would have to go to San Francisco. We would play the winner of Tampa and the Eagles in the second round. If we were to win, calm down, everyone. If we were to win that game, we would play the winner of the Rams and 49ers. If the Rams beat them, Rams come to us. If 49ers beat them, we go to the 49ers. So that's what I'm saying is I want the Rams to win. That's just me.
Yeah. Well,
I see your point there.
Yeah. That is a good point. That's a good point. But I think the Lions are going to squeak that game out.
Yeah, I think
really
the Lions
do.
are the better team.
I think they're going to squeak that game out. Yeah. And if the Lions got to come to us, we won't need a referee to make the decision this time. We won't need a referee to make the decision this time. We're going to learn our lesson from that first game, and we'll take them down. We'll take them down.
I mean, Kelly and I were there. It wasn't even that
It shouldn't even have been
crying
close.
about it. It wasn't even that close. Shouldn't have been that close. You know, they're a bunch of crybabies. But, Kelly, what's your thoughts on these games? You there?
My whole thing about the Rams is half of the season I don't think they beat Detroit though, man. I'm looking at the Rams and first of all, I don't care what they're looking like right now, man. We beat them by 23. So if we should happen to play the Rams, I'm not scared of the Rams. I've looked at their schedule. I mean, they had wins down the stretch. Their best win was a win against the Browns, which at that time the Browns did not have their quarterback. Deshaun Watson had got hurt. That quarterback. It was Flacco, which Flacco was playing pretty good. They lost to the Ravens. They beat the Commanders, the Saints, the Giants, and a 49ers team that started nobody down the stretch. Yeah. I refuse to think that this Rams team is somebody other than who we beat by 23 earlier in the season. I mean, they had all them dudes on the field. Nakua, they had Kupp, they had all them dudes on the field, and we still whooped that ass. I'm not concerned about the Rams, but I want Detroit to win. I think Detroit will win because I think Detroit's a better team, and I think it'll show on the field. I think Detroit's going to win that game, and I want another shot at Detroit because I want to shut all them crybabies up to talk about how we didn't win the game. 68 was eligible. Blah, 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 blah. If you can sit there and you can point to any game and you can just say, well, it was because of one play that you lost, well, then you must be new to football because there is never any game in the whole NFL that is decided by one play.
Right.
There are several plays throughout the game that decide the outcome of a game, and you have to break that down and look at the big picture and the bigger scope. If you got your blinders on and the only thing you're looking at is the last play of the game, and that's what determined the game, then you're gonna be a very sad person watching football because that's just not the way that it goes for any team. I mean, even the Green Bay game with the Dez catch, the DeMarco Murray fumble before that.
That was it.
You don't have that fumble, you're not even at the Dez Bryant. You're not even at the Dez Bryant catch. It's never one play. It's never one play that you can point to, and I can look at that as a Cowboys fan from that perspective and say that I understand that. But these Lions fans, they don't understand that. So bring them on back to AT&T. Bring them on back to AT&T. You want a second shot? You want a rematch? We're going to run this thing back next week. But I think Detroit wins that game. And as far as Philly, they're getting bounced like a hot check. You talk about them getting exposed. They've been exposed more than them Predators on that Chris Hansen's How to Catch a Predator, man. Chris Hansen done already pulled Philadelphia in, sat them down on the table, pulled out the contents of their backpack, showed the manuscript of them talking to him. They've been exposed. They've been exposed. Philadelphia's done. AJ Brown's not playing tomorrow. They're done. They're toast, and it's going to be Tampa Bay that's moving that matchup, and I don't think that's even a close game.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you, and just we're going to get to predictions. We're going to want to hear your predictions. But again, just real quick, we got a lot of people in the chat. We got a ton of people watching, so definitely appreciate it. Make sure you like, subscribe, share. But just so you know, if you're new to the channel, we got a lot of stuff coming up. We got an interview with Tony Thrill Hill coming into the cave, one of the great Cowboy receivers of all time, top 5 easily, coming in the cave, talk about his career with America's team, see what he's up to now, share some good stories. So definitely you guys don't want to miss that. That is going to be in 2 weeks. And then we're working on the final date, but we got James Washington, not the James Washington, the receiver that we got rid of. We're talking about the 2-time Super Bowl champion, James Washington, one of the harder hitters in the league, one of the bad boys of the Cowboys defense. He's going to be coming into the cave talking about his time with the Cowboys. So we've got a lot of stuff going on. We've got our 3,000 subscriber giveaway that we're getting ever so close to. Bob Lilly, if you missed it, he was in the cave, talked about his career with the Cowboys, Mr. Cowboys on the Mount Rushmore Cowboys. We're giving away a signed Funko Pop with all the inscriptions signed by him. So another great opportunity. And then lastly, one last shameless plug is we got our Cowboys Cave merch at Twisted Gorilla. You go to twistedgorilla.com, enter in your code Cowboys Cave. We got our shirts, we got our gear, we got our merch. There you go. Kelly's
Everyone gets your merch.
Yep, Mikey's
I just ordered mine this week.
Christmas present. So we got that going. So make sure you guys check that out. But we got a lot of good things coming in the cave. In the off season, we get more and more player interviews. We've got some other guys that we are working on. I don't like jinxing anything, but we've got some Super Bowl champions. We got a couple more Super Bowl champions that are looking to come into the cave. We got a national champion. I don't know if Kelly's going to want to be on this one. If he does, hopefully he does. But we got a national champion, a Miami Hurricane national champion coming in the cave, but he also won a Super Bowl with the Cowboys. So it's the best of both worlds. So we're going to be hopefully locking him in to come into the cave. So it's a lot of great stuff in the cave going on. So we appreciate everyone supporting us. We have fun with our live shows and everything. But more importantly, we're getting to that time where we call prediction time. And this is where we need a bold prediction. We need it in the chat. Who's going to win? Give us a score and give us a bold prediction. Now, one thing I'll say is some of us on our show, we've already given it. We got an opportunity. You've had a couple days to let it marinate. You can change your score. You can change your bold prediction if you think that something's different going on now that we've got some of the injury reports coming out. So I will start with our guest first. So Mikey, you're first. Then we'll get Greg, Kelly, and then I'll wrap it up.
Well, I think this is going to be an easy prediction. I'm going to go 40-17, and I'm going to change my prediction from last week. I let it marinate, and I had to rethink. I think Pollard goes for 160 rushing yards.
Wow.
And 2 touchdowns.
That's big. That's what I want to see.
You know, I'm real close with Mikey on this one. Real close. 41-20, and Pollard goes over 100 yards in rushing.
Nice. Any touchdowns with that?
Well, I see. Oh, Pollard's gonna get a touchdown for sure, and he'll probably get a late one before they pull him out the game, and then the rest of our touchdowns will be receivers.
All right, Kelly.
Yeah, I almost want to quote that line by Varsity Blues where he says, I had a dream last night, and we beat Green Bay 39-14, and I woke up sad but then I realized, of course, we're going to beat Green Bay by more than 39. I changed my scores 42-14. Maybe give them an extra field goal, Brandon Aubrey. Cowboys are rolling over Green Bay, and my bold prediction, I'm not changing that. I'm sticking on that. It's funny, the other day we're on EJ Savage's show, Boys in the Zone. Cam comes in without hearing it, and then she got my same exact bold prediction was that the Cowboys defense gets 6 sacks against Jordan Love today. And I'll just let y'all know that Jordan Love's only been sacked 30 times going into this. So Green Bay's offensive line has done a pretty decent job. Dak's been sacked more times than Jordan Love at 39. But 6 sacks for this defense on Jordan Love. I think they're going to fluster him. I think they're going to get to him early. I think they're going to get pressure with just the front 4. And I think it's going to be a long day for Jordan Love. This defense is going to be eaten. And, long day for Jordan.
Yeah, I'm
Sorry,
not
buddy.
seeing any.
All those cheese heads. Although Steve said,
I'm not seeing anyone picking the Packers. I think our Packer guy might have left. Maybe he even knows. He probably knows what's coming ahead. So so there's nothing you could do. But I changed mine. You understand? I said we can think about it. So I'm with Kelly. I said, you know what? I had it 34-14. I'm not giving our Cowboys enough credit. I think it's gonna be 41-14. Bold prediction. I had Ferguson. That was my bold prediction. Still might be true. I got a different one. I'm hearing about this running game. I'm hearing about the run defense. Kelly, and you guys educate me a little bit on what we have in store. I say Rico, Tony Pollard, 100 apiece. 100 apiece for both of them. We're going to run all over them. It's going to be Dak's going to be having a turkey leg in the fourth quarter, maybe ordering some food, whatever they're going to do. But I think the Cowboys handle that business. I'm confident. Slept like a baby last night. No nerves. I think the Cowboys show up, get the job done, and then they move on to take on whoever the hell it's going to be.
Awesome.
What do you say about that?
Awesome.
I agree. And we got a lot of 40 burgers in the chat.
Wait, I saw a Packer.
Got a lot of 40 burgers in
Yeah, I
this chat.
saw that Packer.
I saw a
Well,
Packer.
you know the Packers.
Was there a
20. We got a Packer one.
You know the Packers are looking for a miracle. So when you know you got nothing to lose and you definitely ain't gonna gain nothing, you can talk all the smack you want. So
But let's
Packers
say
fans are gonna be talking.
Greg, this Packer now that's a good prediction. If I was a Packer fan, I'm thinking we're going to win. I mean, I'm thinking we're going to win. Do you honestly think you're going to win 25-20? Your defense gave up 30 points and over 300 yards passing to the worst offense in the NFL, the Carolina Panthers. If they would have said, hey, it's going to be 41-40, 41-38, I would say, all right, well, maybe you're thinking it's going to be a shootout and you guys get the bet. There ain't no way in hell. Mark the tape. If it comes back, you guys can make fun of me. There ain't no way in hell we're only scoring 20 points.
No way.
No way.
No.
So the Packers fans got his fingers crossed.
Well, you look at what Dallas has done at home. Dallas has scored a bunch of points at home, man. Like that, they've scored points against everybody and much more quality opponents than the Green Bay Packers. I hate to break it to you, but they've done that against some pretty quality opponents. And at home, they're just a different animal. They're a different beast. There's no way that this Cowboys team is scoring in the 20s.
No. Well, Love gets $500,000 if he can win the game. I guess he has it in his contract.
Well, he better not count on it. He better tell his bank, don't look for that check today. It ain't happening. You know, the Green Bay fan, if I was a Green Bay fan, I'll say that too. Oh, we're going to beat y'all 25-24, whatever, because what you have to lose? You got nothing to lose. You may as well hope that we're gonna win and look for a miracle, and then say I told you when you really didn't expect it. That ain't happening.
Yeah, no.
And it's we got. I'm not the only one drinking. I'm not the only one drinking in this chat. We got somebody that's flat out drunk right here. We got somebody that's flat out drunk right here. Green Bay's defense will score. First of all, I scored defense wrong. Defense has scored DEFENSE. But we got a guy in here.
You gotta let that slide. He's been drinking.
We got a guy that's been drinking in here saying Green Bay's defense scored more than Dallas. That is funny. That's funny.
But what would if we're gonna? I want to ask you guys straight up that comment in the chat. What are the odds that's a Green Bay fan or an Eagle fan? Give me who thinks it's
yeah. You got a point.
Gotta be.
You got a point. You got a point. That probably is an Eagles fan.
Yeah. The thing I'll say about Green Bay fans, the Green Bay fans are very educated when it comes to their NFL. They know. I've a lot of friends who are Green Bay fans. And even they say, look, I'm not going to say nothing about the game. I mean, we're in the playoffs. I want us to win, but obviously you guys are the better team. You're the number 2 seed. We're the 7th. But, hey, it's what we say. You don't have to be the best team. You just got to be the best team that day.
Yep.
So, nothing is guaranteed in life. Nothing is guaranteed in football. Cowboys got to show up, and they better play, and they better put it on them early and get this thing over with. You don't let teams hang around in the playoffs because then weird things can happen. And the thing I would say is with the Cowboys, the pressure, if they let them hang around, the pressure is going to swing a lot to the Cowboys. I mean, I will admit that, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think the Cowboys are going to roll.
And go ahead.
It will, but you've seen some pointed drives by Dak. this season, man, that when they've been in some pressure situations, I mean, you know, you look at that Miami game, Dak went right down the field and scored. It was our defense that turned around and just kind of let them march right back down the field. That's what kind of, you know, in that game. And then you look in the Seattle game when we needed a drive, Dak, calm, cool, collect, went down the field. Dak in some pressure situations this year has been pretty damn good, getting us into a scoring position, either score a touchdown, the go-ahead touchdown, or to get in position for a field goal to take the lead, either or. And what I've seen is it's been our defense in those situations where it's like, all right, it's time to put the clamps down. It's time to end the game, that the defense has struggled a little bit. You know, you look at that Detroit game, Detroit kind of get all the way down the field. You know, that kind of makes you nervous right there when you, so in years past, like last year, I kind of felt like I was more comfortable with the defense being able to close out the game. Whereas this year, I feel a little bit more confident than I have been in years past of Dak Prescott and this offense being able to put the nail in the coffin. Now it's just that this defense needs to elevate their level and be like, all right, we're, you know, if we get the lead, we're the ones that are going to get the stop. We're going to end it with an interception. We're going to end it with a sack. I want the defense playing big and not giving up those crucial plays when the offense gets the lead. Don't relax, stay on their throats, do what we do best, turn the ball over, rush the passer, and, you know, put a nail in the coffin, man. Don't make me nervous. I don't want to see the cardiac Cowboys today. I want to see the Cowboys where Dak Prescott's on the sideline thinking, what does he want to eat? About 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter, putting in a DoorDash for his beautiful wife.
And, you know, and Frank and Steve made a good point. We have to play clean. We have to have minimal penalties, play clean, and then stay injury free in this game. But on top of all of that, the defense, if Tank shows up, and when I say show, Tank plays a good game, but Tank, a lot of times
he's been unsung, is underappreciated.
Tank has to be a beast on his side of that defensive line, and they will seal the deal. Tank has to. Don't rely on Micah being the one that's doing all the pressuring. Tank, you show up today almost like Micah, the game is sealed on defense.
No, I think the defense is going to be highly motivated, and they're going to get after it. I again, anything can happen, but I just don't see there's going to be any let up on this defense. And I did, you know, to Kelly's point, I think the offense is going to be way too much for them to handle. So it's, you know, you want to give teams hope. You want to give teams a little, you know, glimmer. And again, I've been there, man. If I was the Cowboys, you know, and we've been that way, right? With the Rams in the playoffs, the Rams were the better team, but we like, hey, if we do this right, if we can somehow stop the run, which we hadn't done all year, we all knew they were going to run all over us. We prayed that maybe that game it wouldn't happen. I mean, that's kind of what it's going to take for the Packers to win. The Cowboys would have to play their worst game of the season, but the penalties, like you said, Greg, the undisciplined penalties, lining up off sides, you know, roughing the punter when it, you know, that would have ended. You would have got the ball back, extended a drive, gives them a touchdown. Those are the kind of things you saw in Miami, lining up off sides, extend the drive. It's 3rd and 4. You stop them, but you line up off sides, gives them the first down. They score a touchdown. Those are the killers that the Cowboys defense have to avoid. Can't give any glimmer of hope. Can't give
and that's what Green Bay is going to be relying on. They're going to be hoping that they get those opportunities, those bonus penalties to help them out.
Yeah. So, but anything else, you guys? I know, Kelly, you're heading out to you getting your thing going. Oh, Camber, how are you? Good to see her hopping in there. Any final thoughts?
Man, I just wanted to say real quick. I noticed that I just want to give a shout out to the chat here. We've hit a record high here. We got 83 viewers right now. It shows that are watching right now on the platform. So I just want to say thank you for everybody tuning in. Truly, this has been a great show. That's super awesome. It's a milestone for the channel here. And I know that this playoffs is a lot of excitement. But if you're new here, this first time ever tuning in, make sure you hit that like and subscribe, and then like my great content coming to you guys in the way of some interviews of some former Dallas Cowboys players, Hall of Famers, Super Bowl champions. Make sure you hit that little bell up there that'll let you know each time we go live. notification. So like, subscribe, share, notification bell. But again, thanks for everybody tuning up in the chat, man. You guys have been awesome today, man. You can feel the energy. It's almost like, you know, the AT&T Stadium, the electricity, it's contagious. It's coming from the stadium to the cave. I mean, we got, you know, all these people in the chat with great vibes, and it's been really good. Mikey and Greg and Mike, you know, having the panel here together. It's been a good start to Sunday. Hopefully this is an omen. Rolling this thing in, playing Green Bay at home, get this win and move on to the divisional round.
Yeah, and more importantly, you guys be ready to get hype. You know, you've seen me. Hopefully, I got you hype. Kelly's going to be handling it as soon as we whoop that ass. Greg is, you're right, Greg. You're going to be popping up soon. You're getting in that mojo to kind of get that last minute. Get us focused, get us ready, get us going, right? You're going to be.
Oh, yeah. You know me. I'm going to be dressed up. I'm going to have my video ready. And I'm going to be taking me a nice shot of Angels and Envy after the game when we beat them. And if you got that after game show, I'll be there.
All right. Well, that's the plan. That's the plan. We'll probably do that. And then I know, Kelly, you'll be traveling, but if you're not back yet, you can always call in or something like that. We might be rolling for a while, so you might have enough time. So, all right. Well, final words. I want to give you guys final words. So we'll start with our guys, Mikey, Greg, and then Kelly. You can wrap it up.
Well, it was already a great day yesterday for the U, getting Cam Ward, great pickup. And it'll even be a better day today when we stomp Green Bay. I'm talking stomp. I should see Trey Lance with 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. That's how. Matter of fact, I'll make another bold prediction. Trey Lance is throwing his first passing TD today. I'm bold prediction.
There you go. If Rush don't play, he's gonna be the backup. So we'll see.
Yeah.
What's up, Nick?
I'll tell you, Cowboys Nation, get ready to enjoy this one today. No anxiety today. No stress today. Once the kickoff happens, it's a wrap. We got this one. Y'all get ready to toast with me at the end of the game because it's going to be fabulous for the Cowboys. This is our season. It's coming. Get ready.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Kelly, now we're up to over 90. I hate to end the show like that, but what's up? What do you got?
I mean, we got 92 people in the chat, man. You know, I just want to say that, listen, the Cowboys are going to do what we all expect them to do. I think that's why there's so much excitement this year is that we've seen the progression of this team. We've seen things be different about this team. We got the number 2 seed. We earned and took from Eagles what they couldn't earn, and that is the NFC East title. And this I don't know about you guys, but I'm a guy that likes to get hype, and I got like music that I listen to. And I don't know if you can hear a little bit in that background that Phil Collins.
And we know that from the U.
We know that.
Yeah,
The
U, we know that.
The U plays that all the time.
I'm just gonna let you know, man. All the way to the Cowboys thing. I woke up this morning, had this song playing already, man. Because this is a song that I want. I played a little bit of high school football. You know, I was the greatest. But when this song would come on, a big game, a big moment, and this song comes on, you feel the juices start to get to flowing. You can see the fire flames throwing out of the fire throwers at AT&T Stadium. You can in the tunnel, you can see Dak Prescott and all these dudes talking all that smack in the offseason. All of it has led to this moment right here. This is where you do it. It's a one and done today, man. You win or you go home, and we're already at home, so we ain't going nowhere. We're staying here for this week. For next, we'll travel on the road the following week, and this Dallas Cowboys team is prime and ready to go, and your boys ready to go. How about them Cowboys?
There you go. I don't know how I can top that. All I can say is Cowboys Nation, this is what it's all about. This is the first step in the process to the road to 6. Got to handle the business Sunday. So AT&T, I need you guys to be hyped. We need you to be loud. We need you to be screaming. And don't wait till they get in the huddle. You do it from the sideline till they snap the ball. We got to take over that stadium. Green Bay's going to try and show out. We just got to be hyped. We got to be ready. This is what it's all about. Our opportunity. You got 2 home playoff games, guaranteed 2 home playoff games, but it don't mean shit if you don't win today. So we got to get it done. So Cowboys Nation, I can't do it any better than these two guys, so I'm going to leave it at that. We'll leave you with a little hype. Appreciate everything, all the support to the channel. It means so much. We love bringing the content to you. We love bringing the live shows, and I really love bringing the interviews along with Kelly and Greg. We've got a lot of great stuff, so you guys appreciate the support. We're going to leave you with this one because it's Philly. We always love that, so we'll leave you with one. But when we handle that business, you guys come back after the game, and we're going to wrap this thing up and get started looking ahead. But let's handle that business today. See you.
Haters, I just want to tell you, I promise you this above all else. I am now going to be more obnoxious, more overbearing, and I'm going to make you all learn to love it because you have no choice. You understand that, Eagles fans? You guys are through. You're finished. You washed.